firm representing injured people. Good morning. How are you?
I'm terrific. How are you doing?
Wonderful, and it's good to see you. Glad that you're back with us here in the
Thanks.
studio. IUP Lively Arts is such a great, I don't want to say experiment because that's not it. It's such a great avenue, I think, for students, and then you mix in with professional entertainers who come in. It really is a fascinating dynamic when those two entities get together, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think about the history of Lively Arts and the arts community on campus. Waller Hall, while it was originally the gymnasium, is about to hit 100 years old.
Wow.
So we have a long tradition of the arts on campus, and bringing in things that appeal both to students and the community. So I'm excited that we are trying some new things this year and really expanding some of our collaborations too.
Yeah, and Waller's it's a unique environment for the arts.
It really is. There's something about the combination of Waller and Fisher that happened in the early 2000s that really brought the best of that performing arts community and venues together. Waller has this feel of very much student-oriented, and that there's a magic to that kind of creative generation. And then Fisher has the more kind of traditional feel, but we get to use it in ways that the students are just absolutely awed by, particularly with something like Pirates of Penzance, which goes up in November. The acoustics in Fisher and the welcoming moment. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to go on the stage in Fisher Auditorium, but standing up there in front of all of those seats, you have this moment of like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. And a lot of our students, their first experience of touring our facilities starts right there. And they get that feeling.
Yeah, the amazing thing to me is when you stand on that stage, you get the big time feel, but it's a really intimate setting at the same time.
Yeah, it feels like it's 400 seats, not 1,200 seats. Yeah,
I don't know how that works, but it does.
It's the magic of theater.
Fisher pulls it off. So you mentioned Pirates of Penzance. It's a really good season that you have.
Yeah, and I can talk most specifically about the two that are really student focused that come out of our educational programs at IUP. And Pirates of Penzance, I am super excited about because we actually normally every year the Department of Theater, Dance, and Performance and the Vocal Performance Area, Music Theater in the Department of Music co-produce a musical or an opera every year. This year, we're going big with our co-production in terms of the number of ensembles that are involved. So not only is it Theater by the Grove and music theater, but it's also IUP Dance Theater. It's also the IUP Chorale, and it's also the IUP Orchestra. Yeah. And having the orchestra in Fisher Auditorium it's something that has to be experienced if you haven't already. It's just amazing. Yeah. And the number of students it's serving, and it's such a fun show. They're really having a ball in rehearsals right now.
Yeah, well, that's terrific. And you're right. I mean, anytime you've been in there when there's been an orchestra of some sort, of some size, and of some professional level as well, either, the IUP student orchestras are just wonderful.
Yeah.
They're so well trained, and they're so, I don't want to say serious, but they take seriously what they're doing.
Yeah, and they bring really their joy to it.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. And so it's just a wonderful feel for it all. So Pirates of Penzance is one thing.
Yes.
But before that it's before that Waller Haunts, isn't it?
Yes, it's not this weekend, but next weekend.
Okay.
And this is our wonderful, crazy experiment that we're doing this fall. It's called Waller Haunts. And we're creating an immersive theater experience, which makes it sound a little hoity-toity. But if you've ever been to a haunted house, you've been to an immersive
That's
theater
true.
experience.
Yeah.
And there's so many fun ghost stories on the IUP campus that we decided to take over the entire building and really let the students generate the ideas. So I technically, from the outside world, may be looked at as the director of it. But along with two of my colleagues, I've been referring to us as co-conspirators because we're really there to allow the students free reign and discovery of both some of the stories on campus, but how you can create with just the resources you have at hand, by and large. And we've had students that we've actually been adding people as late as last week into this endeavor.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because the students are hearing about it and getting excited about it. So we have had somewhere between 50 and 75 students come in or come out to collaborate on this project. And some of them are in Waller Hall for the first time. So it's just been great energy.
So are these the legends of IUP that we're going to be seeing performed?
Some of them are. Some of them are inventions that riff on some of those ideas. We have a great group of alumni from the theater department that are theater, dance, and performance that have been sharing stories of their experiences in Waller Hall. And that you'll see references to that as well. And some of our students have worked at haunted houses before, so they bring that experience in. And we have these wonderful guides that will bring our groups through that will be telling some of the stories and riffing on the fact that our closing night is the night of a full moon. So there's a lot of fun things at play.
So Waller Hall, or Waller Haunts, is on what days?
It is the, pressure, 26th, 27th, and 28th of October. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of next week.
Sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
You need tickets ahead of time?
It is a good idea. We're actually selling tickets a little bit differently in half-hour blocks so that you don't show up at 7:30 and have a long line to deal with. So, so we'll be guiding people through in small groups. So if you want to go with friends, make sure that you're all signing up for the same block.
Box office and online both?
Yep, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Then Pirates of Penzance.
Yes.
Yeah. That happens in November.
It happens in November, the week before Thanksgiving. It's a Wednesday and Thursday, in part because of some of the feedback that we got from our students, not just because, Thanksgiving's coming and we want to be prepared for that, but they like to have things that occur more during the week than the weekends. So we've got a great cast, a great vocal and orchestra. The dance is fun, a little bit. It's kind of like if you know the story of Pirates and Penzance, which is lovely Gilbert and Sullivan, and then think a little bit Keystone Cops and a little bit Pirates of the Caribbean, and a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And it all comes together really beautifully. It's super fun.
So many people have done Pirates of Penzance, either in scholastic or in more professional settings and in college settings as well, that it's probably not too difficult to come up with something fresh because there's so much material there.
Yeah, and one of the things I love about working with Dr. Oliver Lowe is that he really gets a lot of his ideas from how the students are thinking and approaching things. So he also, when we started into the process of Waller Haunts, that got him thinking about some ideas as well. So you might be surprised at some of the references in the show that kind of collect the ideas together for this fall season.
So Waller Haunts is next week, Thursday,
Friday and Saturday. Yeah.
And then Pirates is when?
It is November 15th and 16th.
Test you, don't I?
Yes, I'm slowly reaching for my phone and hoping that I can see that. So it's the Wednesday and Thursday of that week before Thanksgiving.
You did very well.
Oh, good.
And, of course, tickets available box office and online, too.
Yes.
In fact, the whole season, you can go to iuplivelyarts.edu and you can see the whole season,
Yeah.
including performances by student groups at IUP in dance and theater and so many different other genres.
Absolutely. And the students had a lot to do with choosing the shows that are coming in this season from outside. So, I love that.
That's probably a pretty different kind of energy that comes to the whole process, isn't it?
Yeah. And they get to learn about how those things can come together, too. It's great.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. Dr. Carrie J. Cole with us here this morning, here on Indiana in the Morning. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
We appreciate it.
Now I'm going to get some coffee.
There you go. There you go. That's a good plan. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.